Let's go back to the humming cave.
I guess. Oh my god!
Oh, the strange stone arrow you just found starts going crazy, beeping and booping, whirling around on its own accord.
I found it.
It practically drags you in the direction of a strange, decrepit-looking house you have discovered the Perfessor's house.
Well, I'm going to check out the Professor's house.
Indeed, we gotta. Hey, that's not
Wait,
even...
that's
That's not close. That's very far away. The beeping machine leads you to a ramshackle house in the middle of the desert.
Alright.
That is very ramshackle, I'm gonna say.
Look at this.
It's a coffee cactus.
Coffee cactus. Ha ha ha.
There you go.
It's even a hot... Oh. Alright.
Well, I guess we gotta go into the Professor's house.
Alright, that's the Professor, I guess.
I guess so. Oh, you want to check yourself before you wreck yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. The microscopic mites that live in your eyelashes seem to be getting along just fine.
Okay, well, to be fair, everyone has those.
Everyone has those.
I'm gonna flush the toilet.
Flush it. You gain 1 XP.
Alright.
Yeah, these books are so boring. It's a wonder the shelf isn't full of holes. Get it? Because they bore through things.
A map annotated with circles and lines, and the arrows on the back of each one, explaining what each one was to be used as evidence against us.
I'm sorry, what?
Man, you really gotta listen to Alice's Restaurant Massacre at some point, because I quoted too much and you never realize.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, I think I've played it to you before, but it's 17 minutes long. I can't quote all of it at the moment.
Oh, right, it was like a song or something.
Yeah. Alright.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk to the Professor.
Oh, that's my partner.
Yeah.
And this is the Professor. Excuse me, my name's Annie Goldthwait.
What? Oh, I didn't notice you come in. I'm not used to visitors, but folks generally call me the Professor. Is there something I can do for you?
Well, I found this bleeping gizmo, and I sort of followed the bleeping, and it led me here.
Well, I'll be. It certainly led you to the right place, young lady. This is Vibrato technology, and I happen to be as much an expert as anyone alive today.
What now?
Well, Vibrato. They were an ancient race that lived here long before humans. Well, they mostly lived underground, so they might still be living, as far as I know. Never seen a peep of an actual person, though. Just the machines they left behind.
Were they space aliens?
Could be aliens, or genius pre-humans, or an entirely different terrestrial evolutionary line. At this stage of investigation, it's impossible to say. Isn't it exciting? Here, let me have a closer look at your bleeping gizmo.
Alright, I'm giving him the device.
There you go.
Aha! As I suspected, this is one of their transponders. It detects other Vibrato technology and homes in, you see. That'll be why it led you here. I've got a thing I've been trying to repair. He tinkers around with the transponder for a bit, and then plugs a strange stone marble into a socket on it. There you go. Good as new. Just swipe up or down to turn it on or off. You got the Vibrato transponder.
The Professor says that this device calls out to other Vibrato machinery. Spooky action at a distance. You don't trust it. Swipe?
Well, now, I gotta warn you, this device will lead you to abandon Vibrato technology, but it might also attract unwanted attention.
From what exactly?
Well, from the Vibrato technology. Well, you'll see what I mean. Just be careful.
Okay.
Oh boy. You know, now that I think about it, you arrived at a perfect time. In order to get anywhere further with my research, I need more samples of Vibrato tech. But searching for it eats up all the time I could be using to research it.
I getcha.
Right, you're the adventuresome type. So bring me back whatever devices you find, and if I can get them up and running, that'll benefit both of us.
Alright, deal.
There you go. Great. First priority will be to get my keystone fabricator running. They lock their doors and things with these little stone alloy blocks, see? So if we can make our own, that'll open a lot of doors for us, literally and figuratively.
Alright, what do we need?
Well, the components aren't rare, at least as far as priceless ancient technology goes. Bring me about 5 handfuls of scrap. I should be able to salvage the last parts I need from that much.
Roger that. Alright.
There you go.
Oh. These books are all about concepts too advanced for you to even recognize. Alright.
We are a simple cow-punching gal.
So now I can probably
examine the transponder. Well, the professor told you how to turn this thing off. Do you want to shut it down? No.
Nah.
We'll keep it.
I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
But now, where was I going?
All the way back up to the humming cave.
The humming cave.
There you go. Your El Vibrato bleeps. And you follow the signal. Because of course you do. Why wouldn't you? Well, one reason why you might not is that it led you to a hulking robot that could easily pound you into scrap.
Am I gonna regret it if I fight it?
Now you gotta fight the big robot.
I'm gonna fight a robot. So.
There you go.
It's got 60 life.
It's an El Vibrato construct.
Oh my god, I can just... Oh my god, look at this.
Holy shit, the old 1, 2, 3 costs 3 action points, but
look,
yeah.
It says hit, and I just...
Yeah.
Attack.
Hit.
Yeah, but I have 4 points. It's great.
It's just 3 normal attacks.
This amazing. Haha.
Oh, I like the old 1, 2, 3. Alright, you got some scraps. You got some scraps.
Right.
We needed 5 El Vibrato scraps.
Alright.
Now let's get some of that grass.
Alright, I'm a pick it.
Got the purple grass.
This purple grass has medicinal qualities, according to the nun at that mission way north of Dirtwater. Alright.
Loki
That was easy. So let's go. Back to the rescue mission.
No more El Vibrato nonsense.
Not at the moment.
Welcome back. Were you able to find the humming cave and the purple grass?
Yup. Here you go.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Blessings upon you.
I can just... I don't know. Let's see if she has anything.
It's got blood building tonic, broken leg pills. You're not sure which is stranger, that these work at all, or that they only work on legs. I guess we can buy some broken leg pills in case we break our leg.
Or someone else?
Yeah, it could be good. Yeah, the other ones are like just sell value and they're like consumable, but the broken leg stuff seemed like a special item.
Alright.
I think we're good.
I don't know. This tincture of opium is widely lauded as a super great thing that's great to use all the time. Do you maybe want to buy like 1 bottle of laudanum?
Like, I think this is just a joke on how laudanum was.
I know. I'm saying that was funny.
Have you seen the movie Tombstone?
Of course I have, but also I read lots of historical trashy romance novels, honey. I know what laudanum is and how they used it.
It's just opium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, I thought that was funny, and I was wondering if maybe I should buy some, because...
I guess. I just think it's like, it's so fun that... Man, I wish I lived in an era where it was just super okay to just constantly always be on opium.
I guess.
I mean, technically in some parts of the world it still is.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like... It's horrible. It ruins your life. It's like you get it because you go for a toothache and all of a sudden you're hooked on opium.
Yeah, I mean, I super get it. I super get it. When me and Mike did our Thai boxing thing, like 10 years ago when we were in Thailand. Doing Thai boxing is rough training. Like, it's rough. And
with how hard you train, it's not a matter of like if you're gonna get injured during training. It's a matter of like when you're gonna get injured during training and how bad the injury is gonna be. Like everyone who's been there for a couple of months, they are walking around with stuff. Everyone's walking around with injuries and just stuff they're working around or training around and whatnot. It's even worse like if you actually fight, which I never did, but
yeah, so what you're saying, it's a terrible idea to be practicing martial arts to that
great.
extent.
It's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. But I got injured, so did Mike. Like I got a cracked rib, and I busted like some tendons in my knee that just made it really hard for me to walk. Mike, he like cracked his foot, so he also had some trouble walking. And the thing about healthcare in Thailand, at least 10 years ago, was like just it's so lax. It's so lax. You just find a doctor, you talk about your ailments for 10 minutes or so, he does some sort of routine checkup, and then he just writes you a prescription for shit that you would never be able to get in your own country. So I got some painkillers for my knee, and I don't know what was in them, but these were voodoo. I struggle to believe that like this actually works this way, but because I was just one day, like I couldn't walk on my leg. I couldn't put any weight on my leg. It would just buckle immediately. And then like I popped one of these. The next day, it was like I felt like I could run a marathon.
But I think I think you know this, but I just have to say it for clarity and for our viewers. Like maybe we have people watching that aren't like all that educated in medical and scientific
things. Oh, my leg
things.
wasn't actually
Your
good.
leg isn't good. It's just what these things do. What painkillers do is they just kind of cut the telephone line between your busted leg and your brain. And your leg isn't sending the signal anymore, but it's still fucked up and you shouldn't be walking on it. So taking painkillers and walking around like that can actually make it worse. So please don't do this.
No, and the doctor talked about that. The doctor said that like just, you're gonna feel like you're okay, but you're not. And you have to remember that you're not, and you have to remember to still just sit at home and do nothing, even though now you're thinking, oh, but I'm fine. I could totally train now. So I can super see how people can get hooked on painkillers, which like a lot of athletes and like pro wrestlers and stuff do, because they take the painkillers, all the pain goes away, but that just means they go back to work and they don't actually heal up. And what happens is if they stop with the painkillers, then all the pain just comes back and they never actually rested up and never actually healed. So they just can't. And another thing which is so weird is that it's not just the big pain. Like for me, it was like the big pain in the knee that just sort of messed me up and I couldn't function. But that's not the only thing that goes away when you take painkillers. All pain goes away. All sort of like the obviously you can still feel like sharp pain. If someone like punches you in the face, it's still gonna hurt. But all sort of like aches, all sort of like niggling, whatever, it's just gone.
Yeah, and all the little things that you ignore every day.
Because so many of that is stuff that it's just so prevalent and constant, but you don't even notice it. Your brain doesn't even register it. It's just shut off. But if you take it away for like a week, and then it comes back, then suddenly you notice it, and then suddenly you feel like, oh, everything hurts. Everything you do hurts.
Yeah, that's why I'm a bit scared of ever taking like any strong painkillers, because the thing is, like, you know this, but I mean, like, I have like an immune system that hates me. The main sufferer of this is my skin, and basically I am in constant low to mid-level pain like all the time.
Yeah.
And I've just kind of learned to live with it. And I think I would hate coming back to this from a period of feeling nothing.
Yeah.
More than I hate it right now. So
it's so risky to walk down the path of painkillers because you're gonna get hooked on them to the point where like you're gonna start to feel like you can't function without them.
You know, just on the subject of painkillers, I don't know if I told you this story, but the thing is, like, my mom right now, right, she has cancer.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And it's
this is actually the first time you've said on the channel exactly what it is that she has.
Oh, I mean, it's still not very exact, but I didn't realize that. It's just, I mean, it's not a secret. It's just, yeah. So it's not going to end well, ultimately. And a part of that was that, you know, it's the metastases, they're in her spine. And so her spine broke. And she had like emergency surgery for that, and that's why I went to America, right? And now she's currently bedridden. She can sit by now and be in a wheelchair, but that took quite some time and effort, right? And the thing is, like, when we were there, and they live in California, you know, weed and everything is legal there. You have all these dispensaries. And so my brother, you know, he'd occasionally get her these CBD gummies, right?
Right.
And once he got her the gummies that actually had like THC in there. And she was like, no, I don't want to take anything, you know, too strong. Like, I don't want to be stoned or something. And we're just sitting there, like, my brother and I, and we're just looking at each other. Because the thing is, she's, like, on hydrocodone. She's, like, she doesn't even realize it. But
she's just knocked out on opium.
It's not opium, but yeah, hydrocodone. She's, like, constantly stoned. Way more than, like, you know, THC gummies would ever do.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the moment, like, if she doesn't want it, obviously we're just like, okay, sure, whatever, dude. But that was just the funniest moment to me, and it was like we were looking at each other, like our eyes met, and I knew we were both thinking the same thing.
Yeah. But that's like, one of those weird American dichotomies with like the whole opioid crisis, like how everyone is on opioids or painkillers or too much medication or whatnot, and it's so accepted there. And it's so weird to see that sort of like, on the one hand, you have like anti-vaxxers and stuff who are like, well, I'm not sure about this because I don't know what the long-term effects are gonna be of this thing, and like I haven't read up enough about it and whatnot. And at the same time, people are just popping pills like crazy, like legal stuff obviously, but hey, it wouldn't be here in Sweden. It's like all of this would be classified as just hard drugs in Sweden.
Yeah.
And everyone's walking around with their own cocktail of medication in their system.
It's like, it's not that easy to get. I think it also depends on where you are, what you have. It's like, for my mom, it's just like, you know, this is like late stage cancer stuff. Like, yeah okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you get like the way it works is you get your prescription and you only get a set amount and a set amount of time, right? But they send you home with like 50 of these pills at a time, and then you're not allowed to get a refill for another, I don't know what. But then we had all this stuff at home, and I got a bit nervous about it. Because we had, like, you have to imagine there's people coming into your home, like, all the time when you're in a situation like this. Like, when we were going for chemo and radiation therapy, every day there's, like, 2 crews of, like, EMTs coming and picking you up. And you have all of your medical shit just kind of lying about, right? So I kind of, like, came up with the system, and we had, like, a log. Because there was one thing that actually vanished at some point between hospital transport. Part of her pill stash just got lost.
Oh, well.
And it was kind of like, I think it honestly got lost and not stolen because it was part of like transporting her from one place to the other.
Yeah.
It was a bit of chaos. But I was kind of like, nah, fuck that shit. So I kept like a log for like the Valium and the Norco and all of that stuff. And I'm like, only my dad, my brother, and I are giving this to her. And we're like signing it every time we do. This is kind of like the dual purpose of I keep tabs. Like every time we use one, we write it down. That way I know how many we should be having. And the other one is, you know, she forgets. She's like, nah, you haven't given me one. I'm like, yes, I have. Here, look, black and white. It's like, I think time moves differently if you're lying like in a bed like that, and sometimes, you know, you're kind of out of it because you're stoned. So yeah, but it was weird. Like, it's the first time in my life I've ever held like stuff like that in my hands, and I was like, I didn't like it.
No, I tell you, I felt uncomfortable taking it. the painkillers like when I was in Thailand, because like they were too efficient. They were way too efficient at what they were doing, and the fact that just all pain disappeared, they scared me. I was like, I don't, even though I feel great right now, I don't enjoy taking these.
Yeah.
This makes me feel uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable with the fact that this magic pill just took all of my pain away. I'm like, I need to be so careful with this.
But you know what I discovered there that I kind of liked? So, CBD oil. We initially got it, again, like, from my mom, because, like, at some point, when we turned her over, she was trying to pull herself over, and she pulled something in her shoulder, I think.
Oh, man.
And we talked to her physician, and my brother was like, I have this CBD oil thing, and he's like, yeah, that actually worked, like, her PT. Because it's legal, and it's not, it doesn't have the THC in it, it's just a CBD, and he was quite commonly, like, as pain relief. And that thing has me actually wishing it were legal over here too, simply because I was like, I tried it myself, because I was like physically working while I was there, right? I was turning like, I don't know, 150 pound, no, more woman over all the time and whatnot. And I had all this pain like in my back and shoulders myself, and it's not a magic pill, right? It doesn't make it go away, but it's nice. It makes it a bit better. And that, like, just massaging that into your own shoulders, that's kind of a thing where I'm like, you know what, this would be so nice, rather than chucking, like a Tylenol or something.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so nice if Europe could get its shit together and be like, you know what?
Like, on the one hand, I agree. On the other hand, it concerns me, like, how much medication your average American pops every day.
I'm not saying Europe should get its shit together and chuck pills. I'm saying Europe should get its shit together and legalize weed. And I'm saying this as someone who does not smoke weed. I don't like it, but I think it should be legal. Am I allowed to say this?
You're allowed to say it. And we're not gonna get cancelled over saying that weed should be legal.
Okay. And I'm also like, is YouTube, we're probably gonna have to set something here, but I'm like, I don't smoke it myself. I just don't think it should be criminal. And I actually think, like, especially for medical purposes, things like CBD oil and these gummies and whatnot, and like just using it for pain relief. It's been so successful in like cancer patients, for example, because the thing is, what a lot of people fail to understand about like having cancer, unless they're in that boat, is you're not just physically sick. Like, it's a bummer. You get depressed. Yeah. You're sad and all of these, and you're stressed, you have anxiety and whatnot, and it helps so much with that. Yeah,
my mom has had cancer twice. She's had breast cancer in both breasts. Survived. She's cancer-free now, but she had to go through it twice. And I remember just that it's days where you just feel so sad and miserable that you can't even like sort of get out of bed. Yeah. It's not just the physical pain. The physical pain is obviously really hard to deal with, but also just this feeling that it's never ending. Yeah. It's just like, how long is this gonna go on?
Yes.
Ugh.
And it's just, this is one of the many areas where it helps. So yeah, Europe, come on.
Get your shit together.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not holding out for Sweden. Sweden is, I'm not going to say never going to legalize it, but they're going to be the last to do it.
Sweden is going to be the last country in Europe to legalize weed. We're so anal about anything that even smells like drugs.
Well, provided Hungary and Poland are still part of Europe.
No, for real. No, for real. Poland is going to legalize weed before Sweden does. I wouldn't even be surprised.
You think so? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. That's how long it's gonna take. Oh well, this is a very long excursion. I don't know what prompted that, but where we got there. But this was in my system, and it had to get out, I guess.
Sure. Now let's punch some cows.